in partnership with CommSec.
And a very good morning, Tom Piotrowski over at CommSec. Tom, hello to you. So how are we shaping up on this Friday morning?
Pete, good morning to you. The futures are pointing to a flat start to local trade. So that comes on the heels of a modest gain yesterday where the index was up by around 0.5%. So today it's going to be a question of how the earnings pan out. We've got earnings from a number of organisations. Cochlear probably the one that will be most understood to a lot of people. The net profit expected to come in at $397 million, revenue of $2.38 billion. The shares are up by 4% in year-to-date terms. In terms of the bigger picture, we've seen pretty flat outcomes for US markets last night, Pete, which belies some activity beneath the surface. We saw a much hotter than expected reading on producer inflation last night as far as the month of July is concerned. A big step up in that measure of price pressures. So it went from an annualized pace in underlying terms from 2.6% to 3.7%. Way hotter than what the market was looking for. There's been a scaling back in the bets for a rate cut in September, still overwhelmingly in favour of a 0.25% rate cut. But this certainly gives investors a lot to think about, Pete. It really speaks to the dynamic of organisations absorbing these cost increases before they pass them on to customers. But at this sort of level, then you see a lot of margin pressure, but then ultimately that gives way to passing this on to consumers. So this is the nub of the issue when it comes to the tariff discussion. There's been a belated response so far, but the markets are sort of waiting for that other shoe to drop, and that's what saw the markets sell off initially, but then the prospect of rate cuts in the near term has allowed them to recover, and that's why we saw those flat outcomes. The oil price has hit a 1 week high. Of course, that's topical through the lens of Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump meeting in Alaska at the weekend. Markets are not really understanding what to expect from this in the big picture, but it could have a bearing on oil prices if some progress is made.
That seems likely. All right. Thank you, Tom.